Namaste and good morning. So we have busy morning already. Thank you everyone for coming and being here. We'll just get right into it. So welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Los Gatos. Thank you for being here this morning. I really do appreciate you taking the time to share with us. And for those of you who are with us online, thank you. Thank you. So we're continuing with Centers for Spiritual Living's February theme, Embracing the Edge. It's been an edgy topic, huh? Sorry. CSL's founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, told us that we collectively, as an organization, going forward, are open at the top. Okay, that means that we're open to new experiences. To do that, we individually and collectively must keep growing. And that means growing beyond the known and the comfortable. Oh dear, not that. So, throughout this month of February, our focus is on pushing the boundaries of our beliefs and our comfort zones, both individually and collectively. So, it's easier for myself. We opened our series of talks this month with a lesson, Living on the Inner Edge. And I started that lesson with a review of Howard Thurman's writing, The Growing Edge, from his book, The Inward Journey. If you want to take a peek at it, it's amazing. Got all kinds of wonderful nuggets in it. Quoting from that excerpt, look well to the growing edge. All around us, worlds are dying and new worlds are being born. All around us, life is dying and life is being born. The fruit ripens on the tree. The roots are silently at work in the darkness of the earth. Against a time when there shall be new leaves, fresh blossoms, green fruit. Such is the growing edge. The lesson for that week reminded us that the edge is not a limit, it's a doorway. The essence of that first lesson was Spirit's creations are always perfect and whole. They come out of Spirit. And we are Spirit's idea of itself in form, as who we individually are. Perfect, whole, and complete. And we are called to step beyond the inner edge of our self-perception and grow. Continue to deepen our understanding and insight of who we truly are, letting go of self-limiting and, I would say, often self-created beliefs about what we bring to the world or what we're capable of bringing to the world. Last week, our guest presenter, Debbie Edwards, delivered the lesson, Walking to the Edge of Life. Debbie reminded us that life is calling us to expand, grow, and still have fun. Go out and play. And then there is that inner knowing that's always with us and guiding us, maybe even giving us a little push to step beyond the edge. Stepping beyond the edge is risky, yes, but that's where our growing edge lies. At the border of the realm of the known and the unknown is a place of transformation and unlimited possibility. So today, my topic is the edge of the known. Oh, continue with this edgy stuff. The notes from CSL posit this question. What lies beyond the familiar? Today we explored the shared unconscious, the stories, beliefs, and truths that live beneath our awareness, and lean into the sacred unknown that calls us into a collective healing. The lesson today invites us again to the edge and the mystery that lies beyond it. And at the outset, we again consider our relationship to the silence. Author Howard Thurman has a lot to say about the silence and our positioning to it. And we'll consider the words of Ernest Holmes and his challenge to us to truly engage and use the laws as he taught us. And last, we'll consider the possibilities that are just beyond the edge of the known, where collective listening and insight coalesce into a vision of a new world, where we step beyond the threshold of what we currently understand and what remains a mystery, knowing that it is in that space just beyond that transformation begins. So, the notes from CSL in support of today's lesson provide us with this essay from Howard Thurman's book, The Inward Journey, as I showed you here. It's a lengthy little essay, but I'm going to read it to you anyway because it has a lot of nuggets. It starts and ends with this quote, this observation. We do not know each other yet. We have not dared to be silent together. Mm-hmm. What a priceless possession is the gift of speech. To be able to make sounds, convey specific meanings and deliberate notions, to be able to put at the disposal of another the feelings that nestle within the inner life, to be able to reveal oneself in symbols which make clear and do not betray. This is the miracle and the gift of the spoken word. It is with the word that one becomes human and thus makes possible the circles of relationships which make fast one's sense of self. It is the word that gives one the power to hurt where no panacea can touch, to harness the wild horses of mind and make them the burden bearers of the heart, to give wings to earthbound values until they lose themselves on far horizons. It is the word that can create or destroy, splinter or make whole, redeem or damn. It is small wonder that humans tend to worship the sound of their own voice and to give it an authority greater than anything that remains when all words have been said. If they can put together the words of conveyance, then they think that communication has fulfilled itself. Silence is not trusted. It is subversive. It must be hidden. Fear of silence is the offering which we place upon the altar of words. This is in part due to the richness of the experience of speech, and we do not wish to let it escape from us, lest we descend once again into the vast empty region where there are no words, where there is no speech. It is important to remember that it is out of the silence that all sounds come. It is in the stillness that the word is fashioned for the meaning it conveys. Here the sound, without sounds, can be most clearly heard, and meanings out of which all values come can be plumbed. Thus, Maeterlinck writes, if it be indeed your desire to give yourself over to another, be silent. Some there are that have no silence, and that kill the silence around them. And these are the only creatures that pass through life unperceived. To them, it is not given to cross the zone of revelation, the great zone of firm and faithful light. We cannot conceive what sort of person is one who has never been silent. It is to us as though their soul were featureless. We do not know each other yet. We have not yet dared to be silent together. kind of a deep dive. As I read this essay over the last few days, what came to mind was the image of the times I sat with someone who clearly wasn't comfortable with silence. Perhaps someone with a bright smile and an energetic mannerism who came into a quiet space and immediately began a conversation with someone we didn't know, seemingly because they were uncomfortable with the silence and needed to fill it up. At this point in life, we probably have all had that kind of an experience with someone, or maybe we even were the one that was filling up silence. Okay? Silence in a space or gathering can create the feeling of vulnerability. It's as if the silent space is a blank page or like a blackboard, and something in us, in our culture, our society, our habits, calls us to impress that space with our voice, with our opinion. It's like graffiti on a blank wall, when a blank wall left to itself is actually an invitation. Howard Thurman's writing invites us to give ourselves over to another by being silent, by coming into coherence with them, and opening ourselves to the sense of oneness, a unity in spirit. Perhaps you've actually had that experience where you are so aligned with another person that you can sit with them for hours in the silence. An example of entering the silence was the manner in which the Quaker Friends regularly practiced their form of communion and worship. Mm-hmm. In searching the internet, I came across an article by then Lowman Quaker Tom Rothschild entitled "Listening for the Voice of God, Silence in Quaker Worship." Mr. Rothschild's article spoke in part of their time of worship. He wrote, "One by one, we enter the room, into the silence that is already there, and take our seats. The silence touches each of us, spreads and deepens as the room fills, finally gathering us all into a single body, covered by a spirit that is beyond all names." For the last 350 years, this gathered silence has been the foundation of Quaker worship. The silence of Quaker worship, however, is not an end in itself, but an opportunity for seeking communion with the sacred. Quakers do not worship the silence, but that to which the silence leads. The silent meeting makes Quaker worship unique among the religious traditions of the world. It is, first of all, a communal experience, yet a communality quite distinct from the silent meditation of other traditions, even when practiced in a group, because the silence is alive with the possibility of prophecy, mystery, opportunity. So we are invited then to consider gently and silently stepping to the edge of our own comfort zone, the edge of our known and beyond, into the realm of possibilities, potentialities, and transformation. Consider what it would be to commit to a period of time each day, in addition to meditation, to sit and just listen. Listen for that still small voice that comes from within. What unity of thought and action might come from a community that committed to taking the time to sit in silence and listen. In August of 1959, our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, gave what was to be one of his most often quoted talks at the SLMR conference in Pacific Grove. It was one of his last public appearances. In his sermon by the sea, Dr. Holmes challenged those in attendance and said in pertinent part, "You are religious science. Our ministers, our teachers, practitioners, our laymen. You find me 1,000 people in the world who know what religious science is and use it and live it as it is, and I'll myself live to see a new world, a new heaven, and a new earth here." He was pretty feisty that day. "There is a cosmic power wrapped up in a cosmic consciousness and purposes that is equal to the vision which looses it. There is a law that backs up the vision, and the law is immutable. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. There is a power transcendent beyond our needs, our little wants. Find 1,000 people who know that and use it, and the world will no longer be famished. How important it is that each one of us, in his simple way, shall live from God to God, with God, in God, and to each other. That is why we are here, and we are taking back with us, I trust, a vision and an inspiration. Something beyond a hope and a longing that the living Spirit shall through us walk anew into its own creation, and a new glory come with a new dawn." Wow, you can just hear him. Dr. Holmes was pretty clear about the power religious scientists know exists and how to align with it. There is a law that responds to us with a power transcendent, and if we used it as we are taught, could or would make tremendous differences on this planet. But he stresses how important it is that each one of us in his simple way shall live from God to God, with God, in God, to each other. We understand an individual relationship with Spirit isn't something that just comes to us without our taking the time and focus to engage. Spirit is with us always. We live, move, and have our being in the presence, a mystery. And while we may move through our day carrying on a running conversation with Spirit, I do, it's when we actually sit down, let go of the entertainment or distractions of life, close our eyes, and get quiet, that the most fruitful opportunities arise. Our lesson today invites us to embrace that silence and then consider sharing with others, perhaps even creating a field of silence where divine, creative, and world-changing ideas can surface. What a concept. Going back to the quote from Howard Thurman that opened our lesson, he wrote, "It is important to remember that it is out of the silence that all sounds come. It is in the stillness that the word is fashioned for the meaning it conveys. Here the sound without sounds can be most clearly heard, and the meanings out of which all values come can be plucked." At a time in our world where we may feel challenged to know how to respond, or what to think, or even what to do, where we truly are standing on the edge of what we know, we are invited, we are called to consider the wisdom, the guidance, the direction, the words that are waiting to be formed and heard, just beyond the edge, there in the silence. The teaching is clear. We are divine conduits for Spirit's wisdom and action in the world. As we align with Spirit's intent for all beings, the good and the all good, we can be assured that no matter what the issues, problems, troubles, patterns are in the world, God, Spirit, always has the right and perfect way, the right and perfect plan, the right and perfect answer for its resolution that takes all of it into consideration. And if we take the time with the intention and dedicate it and enter into the silence and listen, that perfect plan, that perfect word will be revealed. And when we come together with that intention, the light will shine on all of us. So beyond the edge of the known, in the silence, the mystery, there is peace. There is truth. There are words of wisdom, guidance, and direction. The challenge then to each of us, and the call actually, is to take seriously what Ernest Holmes and Howard Thurman and many of the other great philosophers and teachers have conveyed to us. There, beyond the edge of what we know, is a greater possibility. A possibility of transformation, certainly of growth, of the best kind. We just need to be willing to take that first step. Over the edge, over the threshold, and into the silence. So let's take that idea into prayer. Please join me. Beloved, we feel your presence in the silence. We accept your love. We accept your guidance and your wisdom. And recognizing that infinite intelligence expresses through each and every one of us, we just simply pause to consider the opportunities, the possibilities that lie within that silence. This morning, we consider this opportunity, this challenge, taking to heart that each of us is a way and a means for a revelation of a greater idea, if we but listen. We set an intention to consider sitting in the silence, joining with others in the silence, with an expectation that there is a greater understanding, a more loving, inclusive way of being that already exists in infinite mind. And as we choose to align with it, it manifests in, through, and as our experience. We affirm that there is a law that knows how to bring that about. We affirm and accept that it is perfect. We honor that each of us is a way and a means for that possibility, that transformation in the world. And with absolute gratitude, we say thank you for that insight. Thank you for that possibility. Thank you for that truth. Thank you for the guidance. Thank Thank you for the love, the support, the good, and the all good. We give great thanks and accept. And let this word unfold in each of our lives in absolute perfection. For this we say thank you and release this word. And so it is.